as far as who's going to be on the ice for the Canes, there are actually some question marks, right?
Yes.
Which is not ideal going into Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals, but it's the situation you find yourself in. You can't always, control it. We'll start with the decisions that have maybe not surprised us, right? We knew these decisions were going to have to be made, which are on the blue line. Jalen Chatfield has missed the last two, but he has been on the ice for a little bit before each of the last two games, right? So you would think he's close, right? He's been called day to day. Hasn't been able to get in either Game 5 of the Cap Series or Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals against Florida. They've replaced him with two different rookies, Alexander Necas in Game 5, most recently Scott Morrow in Game 1. Both made mistakes, and both, by the way, quite literally are rookies that made rookie mistakes. There were good, I would say, more flashes of good from Nikishin. Morrow had a tough one, but he's somebody that maybe has a little bit more time in the system, no language barrier. So there's pros and cons of each. First of all, let's get the updates from Rod. Rod spoke to the media, meaning Rod brind'amour spoke to the media today. Here's his update on Chatfield, who did skate at morning skate, but as you'll hear here, Rod hasn't talked to him yet.
Well, he'd be the one change, obviously, if we can get him in there. He skated this morning. Haven't had a conversation with him yet, so we'll see.
That is what it is.
There it is.
Option number 1, 1A, 1B, 1C, probably option number 2 are all hopefully Chatfield can play.
Yeah.
You've noticed him on the PK. You've noticed him just on puck clearances. Meaning noticed his absence. Just on some of the things that a veteran does that a rookie just isn't quite ready to do yet. You felt it. You felt the absence. So the logical step would be if 1A, 1B, 1C, and option 2 are all Chatfield. If we have to go to option 3, who is it? Is it Alexander Nikishin? Is it Scott Morrow? Rod brind'amour today said he's comfortable with either if Chatfield can't go.
Those are our two options if Chatty can't go. I think both of them, it's a tough spot to put them in. Rookies that, haven't had a lot of NHL experience. One guy that doesn't understand English that well. I mean, it's just not ideal for this time of year. So those are, I think our two best options. And if Chatty can't go, it'll be one of them. Scotty's game, I think he understands our game a little better because he's been playing it for a year. And the flow of playing one game and coming right back to another game, I think, is a consideration. So those are all things we'll have to figure out if Chatty's unavailable.
So, by the way, on that question, he was asked specifically about Scott Morrow, hence why you got the follow-up there by Rod about Scott Morrow on that question. Just to give a little clarification for people out there. Why is he only talking about Scott Morrow? Well, because he was asked about him.
Have you heard the saying, this is a football saying? I grew up playing football. If you have two quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. I kind of feel like, we're comfortable with either. That kind of means nobody's wrestled the job away, right? That kind of means nobody's grabbed it and made it their own. The difference in my comfortability between a Chatfield that is even 80% and either of the rookies in is dramatic.
Yeah.
It is dramatic. And by the way, that's, I think, proper respect shown to Jalen Chatfield. There's another decision being made, or seems to be being made. We're going to have to read the tea leaves on some of this. About a forward, right? We knew that that specific position on the blue line was going to be talked about. This morning, it seemed to be like the inactives, the extras, were skating. Amongst them was Jesperi Kotkaniemi, and Mark Jankowski was not amongst them skating.
Yeah,
which raised eyebrows, to say the very least. Kotkaniemi, it's not outlandish for him to be a healthy and active in the postseason. We've seen it before, but not this year, right? They've had him in the lineup for every postseason game this year. Here is Rod brind'amour again passing along his take on having Jankowski as an option tonight, and Jankowski's health. He has been dealing with as most are at this time, some kind of a nagging injury.
Yep, he's healthy. He wasn't for a couple weeks, but now he's ready to go. So he's a good option for us.
So Here's the way I look at it. If Kokaniemi does not draw into the lineup and Jankowski does, it is another example of Rod making decisions that he thinks are best for the team and not how the decisions would be made if we polled fans on Twitter to make the decisions. He is not worried about the popularity of his decisions, and I respect that. I also think after a game like Game 1, after a game like really how that one played out almost from the opening puck drop, people that have been involved with team sports understand something needed to change.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's an important small little mental thing to be able to distance yourself from that game going into Game 2. I think the ideal way would be if Chatfield plays, because then you can say, yeah, Game 1 was rough, but that was before we had Chatty. We weren't fully formed. We didn't have our full unit. If Chatty doesn't play, I still think you'd like to have that. You'd still like to have something that subconsciously you can go, yeah, but that was before. Yeah, okay, they pushed us around a bit, but we didn't have Jankowski. He's one of our big dudes, right? Oh, okay, that was before. But, right, it just gives you that little bit of space, little bit of explanation. So it's not just, they beat us up. We were all there. We watched it. We watched the tape. It was ugly. You get yourself that little out. It could be cheap, could be a little mental trick, but I think it's important. So I wouldn't be surprised if Kokaniemi draws out of the lineup.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked either, because here's something to keep in mind as well for Kokaniemi. When he's been in Carolina, he is in 51 playoff games with the Carolina Hurricanes. He has 3 goals.
Wow.
And those 3 goals came 2 years ago in the second round series against the New Jersey Devils. I think it was Game 1, he had 1 goal, and then Game 2, when they scored 6, he had a pair of goals. That's it. Like, that's all he has. And he also has 10 assists over 51 games. And this postseason alone for Carolina, he's 44% in the faceoff circle. He has 3 assists, 3 points.
What I will give him, and if postseason hockey is a little different, he has been playing, for me at least, I call it 0 emissions. Like, hasn't been great putting up a bunch of production, but also hasn't made the critical errors that have led the other way. And occasionally, I mean, if you can get more, you'd love to have it, trust me.
Yeah,
but
you need more.
But there is something, especially if he's not drawing in as the second line center, there is something to be said for not making the big goof. Maybe once you fall behind in a series, you need a little bit more risk taking, because somebody like Roslovic, who now we assume will kind of settle into that second line center spot with Jankowski on the fourth, he has made a few of those, like, I noticed him in a bad way moments. He also, we know, has a little bit more ability to get into a scoring position, even if he doesn't finish the goals. We've seen him be the guy that's kind of there and working his way into openings. So it's a give and take. I think changes needed to happen after Game 1, and this is a good one as far as shaking it up enough that you make it clear we're a different unit, without shaking it up in so much of a giant way that it comes across as panic, right? If all of a sudden you have 4 new guys in there, and then it's like, all right, you're not dancing with who brought you here. But this is one way to shake things up, maybe without sounding the alarms, no pun intended.
And Jankowski also can contribute on the penalty kill as well, which we have seen right now, the way the lineup is set. You only really have 5 guys that can kill penalties. And if one of those guys goes to the box, it only puts more stress on those other 4 forwards that kill penalties. Because the only guys that kill penalties right now are Aho, Jarvis, Stahl, Martinook, and Eric Robinson. That's it. If one of those guys is in the box, well, guess what? Now you're rotating 4 forwards. You need to have an extra set of legs in there that can maybe give Martinook or Stahl or Jarvis or Aho a little bit of a breather for a single shift, and you're not going to lose anything. Plus, he's big.
And just to continue building off of that, those guys you mentioned, a lot of them have spent time in the box already.
Yeah.
Stahl's been meaning this postseason. Stahl's been in the box. Aho last game. Martinook had a 4-minute. Like they've gone to the box a few times. And I'll just one last point before we take a break here. If Jalen Chatfield does play, he's obviously someone that would play on your PK. You do have to be prepared when you're playing somebody that is pushing it to come back from some kind of a tweak or an injury of some kind. Mm-hmm. You have to be prepared for, they push a little hard and all of a sudden halfway through the second period, he's not available anymore.
Yeah.
And if then you take another body off of your planned PK, Jankowski becomes even more valuable. So there's a lot of different options there. There's a lot of different ways to play it. I think we kind of know like the betting odds on who's going to be in the active lineup and who's not. We don't have anything official as of yet. We'll update you if we do.